секунду, зараз. Доброго дня.
Good afternoon, everyone. And now the briefing. The topic is start of the participant selection for Ukrainian team to participate in the 43rd Marine Corps Marathon. Vadym Svyrydenko, Presidential Commissioner for the Rehabilitation of Ukrainian servicemen who suffered injuries, and the participant of the marathon, and the participant of the games in Toronto, Volodymyr Havrylov, the curator of this event. Stuart Taylor, Allied Forces Foundation via Skype, Dmytro Fesenko, participant of the 42nd Marathon, and Pavlo Mamontov, participant of the 42nd Marathon, and welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. So we were presented, and this is not the first press conference, about the Marathon of Marines that is held in Washington each year. And our team will participate for the third time in this event. Once again, I would like to remind about this marathon. And many people participate in this marathon, about 30,000, and part of these people, the majority of these people, are the former servicemen who were wounded in different countries, in different situations, and the aim of this marathon is to provide rehabilitation for these people in order that they be integrated in life. And this topic for Ukraine became acute starting in 2014. You know why? That's why starting 2017, due to the help of our partners from America, we got a quota for Ukrainian team in this marathon on conditions that we arrive in Washington, and we are staying at the military base. They provide transport and catering and organize cultural program, and all our guys participate in running for 42 kilometers. This is full marathon, or 10 kilometers for heavily wounded, or they use special bikes. Those who have amputations and who cannot run. And last year our team was 20 people, and they participated in all distances of 42 kilometers and 10 kilometers, and one was on special bike. He doesn't have legs, but he was participating in the marathon for 42 kilometers, and he is a really courageous person because his bike failed, and he repaired his bike, and he came to the final line. So this is a positive thing, and it is highly assessed in Washington, in the United States, and this event is greatly supported by Ukrainian diaspora. They come to Washington from different states, and we can see emotional pictures when they meet our team at the finish line. And among those who participate in this press conference, and the aim of the press conference is to start the selection for the participation, and this will be in Washington on the 28th of October, and we have 10 places, and we will select a number of wounded who first should confirm that they were wounded. They should confirm by medical documents, and also they should show these conditions. They should show that they are able to run. Also, it is important to have a good psychological state. They should understand that this is an important event, and this year also we will pay a lot of attention, and we will provide for the people who are able to speak English. This is not a rigid requirement, but this is reality. We should count because there are many teams from different countries. They live together on one base. They are in premises and they should communicate among themselves. That's why our military, our wounded, and the citizens of Ukraine, they should understand that if you want to know about the world, if you want to communicate with others, you should learn foreign language. And this is one more incentive for our servicemen who participate in this event. They should be motivated to learn English in their free time. Now I would like to give the floor to Presidential Commissioner for Rehabilitation of Ukrainian Servicemen. And I believe that the majority in this room know about this known person. He is really a modest person, but he is a real hero, because he was on the first team in 2016, in the team that participated in this event. He undergone rehabilitation in American hospital, and when we went back from Washington, it was in 2016, and we asked ourselves why let's participate in marathon. Good afternoon, everyone. I was one of many, and together with Dmytro, we participated, and we were running together, and I was following him. This will be 43rd marathon, and this is in the framework of rehabilitation of those who were wounded, and together with the servicemen, we will carry out this event, and we invite everyone, and you know about the rules. This will be on the CSK stadium, and the guys who were in ATO, who were wounded, it is important that they have wished to run this distance, and they should do it in the right way. We should do everything possible that these people successfully completed this marathon. And we have people from diaspora, from US and Great Britain, and everyone wants to speak with Ukrainians. When they see Ukrainian soldier sign, they come up and they want to thank these people for their service. For service they provided to their country. Especially we want to thank the wounded, and Americans, they always thank the wounded. And when we return, this is to teach people, those people who do not know about Ukrainian veterans. We want to tell people who they are, and this is our program, to change the programs in Ukraine. And the Ministry of Social Policy and Ministry of Defense provide such programs, and programs that provides processes. We should tell how people feel in other places. So this is, we should understand clearly how Americans help their wounded, and we should get this experience. So we bring those guys. This is a new team, and these people, they didn't participate in previous marathons, and we want to tell you that each of them can get registered on Facebook, and we provide preference to those who were wounded, because this is our aim, to return them to society. So I invite all veterans, and we wait for you. And you can show your capabilities, and not everyone would be able to participate, but we will have this problem, we will have this program next year, and maybe we would like to ask you to join, and if we have Marines, that would be really great. So we invite Marines, please join us. I would like to thank our American partners who help us and invite our team for participation. And this is Allied Forces Foundation. This is an independent foundation that was specially created for rehabilitation of American and British wounded, and they have a lot of wounded people. And the Marines, they have 50,000 wounded people. So in the country, they have 22 suicides among the veterans a day. So we've mentioned that we had about 5 per week. There was such a period. So each day, suicide among the veterans of different conflicts from Vietnam to Afghanistan, this is 22 people. So this is very acute problem for them. And the Allied Forces Foundation understands this problem, and the president of this foundation, together with us, he is a former military. He was wounded in Afghanistan, Stuart Taylor. Do you hear me? I would like to give the floor and to give him the opportunity to say several words about this event.
The coming Marine Corps Marathon.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you very much, and it's great to see some friendly faces there who've taken part in the Marine Corps Marathon, and just recently the Appalachian Yomp in Scotland, where we had the great Ukrainian team conquer the 54 miles across the Scottish Highlands. It's very important for the Allied Forces Foundation and the US and all our allied partners to be side by side in these troubling times. Our mission is to ensure that the world understands that we will not accept tyranny, and we will fight this side by side. And the way we do that as a foundation is to bring wounded, ill and injured warriors together from all our nations: Ukraine, Georgia, Estonia, UK, Denmark, Canada, USA, Australia, and we bond together and learn from each other's experiences in combat, in society, in recovery, and we learn from all these issues and the struggles we all have in different countries and different ways of life. And the Ukraine team this year, when they come to take part in the Marine Corps Marathon, will be side by side all them great nations and allies, and they will conquer the 26.2 miles around Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, and will enjoy all the great visits and cultural visits in the capital. And we have some very important guests who the wounded warriors from Ukraine walked with in the Scottish Highlands, who are going to run side by side this year. The Sergeant Major for the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Sergeant Major Truxell, says thanks very much for the Ukraine warriors and for their service. And we look forward to seeing you at the Pentagon, but also running with you on the Marine Corps Marathon. So we are very excited and again very honored to have Ukraine wounded warriors with us side by side. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. We need some time just to interpret, so hold on line just again. Бачите, знайомі обличчя, першу чергу хлопців, які вже брали участь там.
Our guest said that this is for the wounded from many nations, and there will be participants from many countries. And he reminded that the aim of this event is to show to everyone that there are allies who are fighting tyranny, and including our situation. And he said that this is really important to have Ukrainian team there because they showed that they are really capable. They participated in the competition in Scotland. In June there was a competition, and 6 participants from Ukraine showed good results and they went through 2 kilometers, and only one went through 40 kilometers.
For the efforts of your foundation in supporting Ukrainian military. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Я хотів би зараз надати слово нашим хлопцям, які брали участь в марафоні морської піхоти раніше.
So I would like to give the floor to those guys who participated in the last marathon and also who participated in Scotland competition. So first we'll start from the last event. So Dmytro Fesenko, the participant of the marathon. First of all, what I want to tell you about the event. So these projects are really important. These are social, psychological events. This is rehabilitation. And this is really important in our country because now we have a military conflict with the aggressor. So this is a message for veterans and people who were wounded and also active servicemen. Guys, do not afraid to participate. Do not think that you're unable. So the criteria of selection are loyal and civilized. Really, you should not be great sportsman. You should not be some real sportsman. So you can join the team who will go to Washington. Pavlo, Mamontov and I, we are the examples of this. We are not professional sportsmen. We just wanted to be fit, and we tried to be fit before we were wounded, and we continued after the injury. So if you are in good shape, if you wish to show your capabilities, if you want to communicate, if you want to bring message about what is going on in our country in order that other countries know about the situation in our country. And also to have good relaxation, psychological relaxation. This is really great event in 2016, and this year in Scotland we had really great time. Thank you. And Pavlo Mamontov will also tell several words about Scotland Marathon this year. Thank you. I would like to thank Vadym Svyrydenko, General, and our state services and NGOs that they support such programs in Ukraine. And our guys and girls can join this quality rehabilitation, and this shows to our organization that this really exists and it should be created in Ukraine. And I would like to thank international organizations that invited us to join such events. And one of such organizations and the recent event I joined is the Scotland event. So this was really quality relaxation and at the same time physical load. So this was rehabilitation, and at the same time this was a great opportunity to meet people like us who speak foreign languages, who were born in different countries, but this is the only thing that differs, because we have similar wounds sometimes. You can find such people. So it's cool when you have an opportunity to share this pain and to get to know people and to continue to communicate and to broaden this international community of wounded servicemen. Thank you for this opportunity. So This is briefly about what we are doing. So on the screen you will see contacts, and you may join. So on the 20th of June at 10 at the Stadium of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, there will be the first stage of selection of all candidates who registered and who want to participate in this event. The selection is really open, really transparent and honest. Everything is done on site, and those who will show the best results and who will be the main candidates, we will have interviews with them to understand their psychological status and also to verify their level of English. But this is not critical, but we should reach this. So please, if you are ready, you may ask your questions. Dear colleagues, if you have questions, please. I would like to ask about the number of stages of selection. So this thing on the stadium, and what else? So we will have the main stage on the 20th of July. We will do it in one day, because we understand the situation of people from different regions. It is difficult for them to travel to Kiev each time. So then we will have an interview, and we will use modern means of communication. So first there will be questionnaires. We will understand what are the wounds and when they were wounded, because those who are recently wounded, we won't get them because it will be too difficult for them to participate. Maybe they will participate in further events, and we will select people for 42 kilometers and 5.2 kilometers. So you may join us, and if you want to run 10 kilometers in Washington, so you should understand that you can cover this distance here in Ukraine to prove that you can do it. So specifying questions. So you provided the contacts. Maybe we can join through some sites. So this is the contact on the screen, and then we will create a platform, a website, not only about this marathon but also about the rest of the events that we have abroad, because Ukraine started this in 2016, you know, about Invictus Games and other events. So then there will be a platform that will provide update. Now we work in this format. Next question, please. Evgeny Solanina, Radio Liberty. I would like to ask you to make several specifications. First, what is the quota for Ukrainian team at the moment, and can it be increased? Then what will be, maybe you can repeat, what will be the distances? You said about half of kilometer to 42, quota 10 people of different stages of injuries, concussions, people with amputations, in wheelchairs, and they can be provided with a special bike. In America, there will be two distances, 10 kilometers and 42 kilometers. And in 10-kilometer run, this is for heavily wounded, and 42 miles, this is for wounded persons who are not heavily wounded. So the quota is 10 people, and I'm the 11th. So the quota is connected with the staying of these people, so they can provide the catering and transportation and stay for 10 people. And we can get additional places, but we should then pay for ourselves. One question from me. So at this stage, do we need volunteers for the selection? And if someone wants to become a volunteer to help to organize this, whether they should contact you through this number and on this side. So we are glad if you want to help our guys, please do this. And we have such a proposal. We search sponsors for such event. If you want to join, if you want to provide some uniform, or if you want to provide some other things, yes, we search for sponsors because we want to represent Ukraine in a great way. Everyone should see that these are Ukrainians. Please join everyone if you want to. Previous marathons were sponsored by different organizations and companies. The first marathon in 2016, for example, NATO office in Ukraine paid for the tickets, and they really contributed, and the first team flew, and they had the tickets of our partners. And the last marathon was sponsored by different companies, Ukrainian companies and organizations. And they bought tickets and registered the visas and uniforms and the design and everything else. And the uniform provided by the companies, and they really impressed the participants in Washington. The uniform was really simple, and on the back there was it was written Armed Forces of Ukraine. Thank you. Do you have other questions? Please. Tell us, please. Tell us, please. Do you plan to hold such marathon in Ukraine, the Marathon of Marines? Thank you for this question. This is a wonderful question, and it is really needed. We plan such a marathon to hold it on the 7th of October, and we agreed with Run Ukraine, and the veterans will have a separate distance. The veterans who went through ATO, not only those who were wounded, but all of them. So also we want to involve veterans from Great Britain and the United States, Georgia, and we have such intention, and we will provide the information about it later. And in October, we plan to hold this event in Kiev. If you do not have other questions, this is the end of press briefing. Thank you.